Tesla CEO Elon Musk has an unusual passion project, a neural tech company called Neuralink. Musk co-founded Neuralink in 2016, and the company remained relatively under the radar until 2017, when the Wall Street Journal broke the news that he had established the company to merge computers with human brains. Developing brain chips is a curious side hustle for a man who is simultaneously running Tesla, his space exploration company SpaceX, and the Boring Company, which Musk hopes will dig underground transit systems for cities. But Neuralink zeroes in on one of Musk's main fears: artificial intelligence. The entrepreneur has frequently been vocal about his worries that AI could one day come to overshadow the human race. He's founded a general-purpose research organization called OpenAI, but Neuralink has a much more tangible, futuristic goal of making AI-enabled devices capable of interacting with people's brains. Let's talk about why Elon Musk created Neuralink. Number 1. There's definitely some bombastic points and some much more realistic aspects of the announcement, said Andrew Hyers, an assistant professor of neurobiology at the University of California. He came away from Neuralink's presentation with the sense that Neuralink had improved on existing technologies in 3 significant ways. Floppy wires could move with the brain without causing damage. The wires on Neuralink's proposed device uses wires that could advance the field because of just how floppy they are. Quote, "The fact that they're using these flexible wires is a significant innovation, particularly if they're trying to get into consumers. Each wire is slightly slimmer than a human hair and carries electrodes which are both able to detect brain activity and, theoretically, stimulate it. Stiff wires in the brain cause a lot of damage because the brain can move around," Hyers pointed out, adding that a living brain is very soft, much softer than the specimens you might have seen in jars which have been stiffened with formaldehyde. "It's a lot softer than Jello," he said. Floppy wires like the ones Neuralink described could potentially be a better solution for any device that's going to spend a long period of time embedded in someone's brain, because they're less likely to inflame or damage the tissue. This is not a new technology, however, but it is recent enough that we don't know if these wires could last more than a couple of years. The technology's only been out for like a year or two. Quote, "The technology's only been out for like a year or two. It could be that these flexible wires are less reliable, less robust, or maybe they're even gonna break," said Hyers. Number 2. A sewing machine instead of a surgeon. One big problem with floppy wires is that they can be difficult to thread into the brain, and for this, Neuralink has invented something entirely new. The probes would be inserted into the brain by a device not dissimilar to a sewing machine, which would use a stiff needle to poke the threads into place about 1 millimeter into the outer surface of the brain or the cortex. Hyers said the idea of this sewing machine is brand new and a significant innovation. He has had to perform insertions of similar devices into the brains of mice by hand. Doing this stuff by hand, these are very fine things. It's very hard to have a steady enough hand to do these things manually, he said. Number 3. A superpowered chip which translates brain activity. The final weapon in Neuralink's arsenal is the chip which will interpret the brain activity being picked up by the electrodes. Quote, "There's a problem with getting electrical signals out of the brain, and that is that they're very small, and the farther they have to travel down a thin wire, the more they're going to get distorted by noise, because there's always some electrical noise going on in the world around us. You want to be able to amplify and digitize the signal as close to the source as possible," Hyers said. Quote, "From what they discovered in their white paper, that chip looks beyond the state of the art. That's going to enable you to record from more places with higher precision," he said. "It's like sort of upgrading your TV to go from standard definition to high definition." Number 4. Don't get too excited about the monkeys. Although Musk was eager to tell the audience at the Neuralink presentation that the technology had allowed a monkey to control a computer with its brain, neither Hyers nor Green were massively surprised or impressed by this. Quote, "The monkey is not surfing the internet. The monkey is probably moving a cursor to move a little ball to try and match a target," said Hyers. Musk himself didn't give any detail about Neuralink's primate testing during the July presentation. Quote, "This is something you can already do with traditional brain-machine interfaces. I'm not surprised they've been able to achieve that," added Hyers. Number 5. Neuralink's most likely use, giving robotic limbs the feeling of touch. While Elon Musk is keen to extol the future merging of AI and human consciousnesses, Hyers and Green are more excited by the near-term benefits the technology could bring. Quote, "The first application you can imagine is better mental control for a robotic arm for someone who is paralyzed," said Hyers. Green concurred with this, adding it could be used by patients with locked-in syndrome to give them the fine control over robotic limbs. Although neural control of robotic limbs has been around since 2012, Neuralink's technology could enable the next big step: touch feedback, sometimes called haptic feedback. Theoretically, this could be possible if Neuralink's chips recorded which areas of the brain are stimulated when we touch and interact with the world, and then the electrodes could use this information to stimulate the brains of people using robotic prosthesis to simulate this sensation. Anyways guys, this does bring us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed so you don't miss more cool videos just like this. Also, please leave some feedback down in the comments below so that we can improve the quality of our content. With that being said guys, I'll see you in our next video.